Let's start off with some awesome news. Nintendo has finally decided to let us run through the fields and clouds of Hyrule, which means Skyward Sword, beginning November 20th, around Thanksgiving, which also means that I'm going to have to decide whether I want to carve up a turkey or use my sword and shield to carve up a moblet. Some of you won't get that. I'm sorry. Nintendo is bringing out a revamped Wii. It will be slimmer and smaller, and it will have the Wii Remote Plus, Wii Sports, and Wii Party. This move is really interesting because Nintendo is trying to phase out the old Wii consoles in order to make room for the Wii U. Some people are calling this new Wii the Wii Minus. Minus because it will not have compatibility of GameCube games. That is upside down. Most likely will not be compatible with GameCube controllers. Now strangely, this also mirrors what Sony had to do whenever they were selling their PS3s. The PS3 used to be able to play PS1 and PS2 games along with PS3 games. It was also $600. So what Sony did was that they took out the backward compatibility so that you could not play the older games and made it cheaper. Funny enough, recently the PS3 has also dropped down price to what the Wii is currently now selling, or was selling whenever it released. PS3 is now at $250, and the Wii was selling at $250 when it first came out. So that's kind of funny to me. But for us Americans, don't worry. Nintendo does not plan on selling the Wii Minus here in America. Speaking of things that are not coming to America, I know, ouch. To those of you who know what I'm going to talk about, Nintendo Europe confirms that The Last Story and Pandora's Tower are going to be coming out in 2012. Nintendo still says they have no plans. Those who have taken part in Operation Rainfall are hopeful that Nintendo of America will be pleased with the sales of the games released in Europe, because they are really hoping to play those games. Place them, Nintendo America! I am looking forward to Pandora's Tower. I wish it was coming to America, but right now there are no plans to bring that to America yet. Super Mario Land 2 and Metroid 2, not Metroid Prime, just Metroid from the NES era, will be out on the Nintendo 3DS eShop sometime in 2012. So look forward to that. Speaking of the 3DS, if you have not bought one yet, they are now down to $170 instead of, I think, $250 when they came out. So it's worth looking into if you got the money or were saving up. Now you can definitely buy your 3DS and get a game for it. In other not Nintendo news, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, is out. This is kind of a Christian fiction, sort of, probably by people who are not Christian, so that could be crazy. This does look pretty interesting. The graphics, the style, not the graphics, but the style, look amazing, and that is not too much of a surprise since it is by the same people who did Okami. If you do not know what Okami is, here's a link of Sugar Conroy playing Okami. It looks amazing, and I have it, I just have not finished it yet. The Silent Hill HD collection is coming to not only the PS3, but because you demanded it, coming to the Xbox 360 as well. Although they're not exactly sure when. Like a two-headed fleshy monster, you're not really sure which one to cut. They're not exactly sure if they want to release it in September or October. I've played only one game of the Silent Hill franchise. It would be the one that die-hard Silent Hill players would say not to play because it was not made by the original team. But personally, I was scared because I played at night, and it gave me the sense of being alone in a town where something spooky has happened, and I'm just walking through the very dense fog, hoping not to run into a monster. Very, very creepy monster. And speaking of bringing things back from the dead, kinda, sorta, Sonic Generations has a new trailer, and as you can see, there is now classic Tales. Lego Harry Potter, years 5 through 7. Finally got to see some things about it. More just pictures, but still kind of awesome. As the graphics get better, I'm not really a graphic hog, but when I play as little plastic people who I know are going to be plastic, the plastic looking people looking plastic looks plastically awesome. Warner Brothers and Traveler's Tales said that it is going to be, of course, bigger and better with new places to visit like Godric's Hollow and the Ministry of Magic. If you've watched the movies and read the books, you'll know that the movies didn't really show too much of the Ministry of Magic. I haven't read the books, but my wife has and my friends have, and they say that there is so much more to the Ministry of Magic that I am hoping to see played out in the new Lego Harry Potter. They didn't give a release date or even a trailer that I know of just yet, but I do look forward to casting my final spell on that noseless evildoer. The trailer for Rise of Nightmares looks interesting, to say the least. Google has bought out Motorola, which means I don't really know. Probably better cell phones, maybe. I don't know. But it is interesting. Google buying people and doing stuff. Eventually, I'm pretty sure they're going to be our overlords, along with Walmart. It's just a matter of time till Google partners up with Walmart, and it'll be, do you want to go to the Google store? Or the Google restaurant? Want to get some Google clothes? Assassin's Creed Revelations has a new trailer. It is one of those dubstep trailers, which means the music may not be suitable for some of the older people that might watch this, like my mom. She may not dig the music as well as my cousin. In book news, I have decided that the next book I will buy and read, not just buy and set on the shelf, will be Miss Pettigrew, Miss P's Home for Peculiar Children. It looks very interesting as it has inside of it a story and pictures of the peculiar children that Miss P has taken care of throughout the years. So I guess the story is that there's this kid and his father told, or his grandfather or someone told him stories before he went to bed. Then later, something happens to his family that makes him decide that these stories aren't just stories, but might actually have some truth to them. So he runs away to the lone island, and inside of it is an abandoned house, and there are pictures of the peculiar children all over the place. And that's about all I know. Currently, I am reading The Search for Wadla. It looks very thick, I know, but it's not too bad. Even though it clocks in at 466 pages, it's got some illustrations in it, like this. Actually, very easy to read. The main character is about like 10 years old, I think. I'm not exactly sure. So, it's not really meant for one of those heavy reading people. Though, if you are a heavy reading person, I suggest reading it too. Since I am a nerd fighter, I must share with you that if you pre-order John Green's The Fault in Our Stars, you will get you're promised a signed copy. Although there is a 5% chance of getting a Henklerfish signed with John's. Well, that's it for updates right now. If you wanted to check out any of the trailers or videos that I suggested or talked about, I should put them right here. If you click on them, if you watch this video too early, it may not be there. I'm gonna have to go through and put them all in there by myself. But yeah, that's it. I don't exactly know how often this will get to be updated, since this is very dependent on news. It just so happens that the Gamescom is going on, which is basically like like E3, the conference of people in the game industry. They are getting together in Germany, I think, and talking about games, so this is where all this has come from. So, lucky for now. If you want to learn more about the stuff that I learned about, I usually visit Kotaku, and I get tweets from MyNintendoNews and NintendoAmerica. That's it. I've got nothing else to tell you. Until I get more news, I will try to make this a weekly thing, so some of the things may not be as interesting as today's stuff, but hopefully they will be. If I do happen to get a sudden dump of news, then I will try to make a quick vlog about that and share it with you. But until then, my name is Hyrule Monk. That is Sylvie down there. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.